All right. Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is your good old friend Turgon, the wise guy, coming at you with a new video today. And this is my first video in season 10. This is my 10th season playing Lord of the Rings Rise to War. I apologize in advance. I'm going to be occasionally sipping on some coffee here. Mm, because as you can see, since I'm a noob and I don't do things like hide my bar, it's 9:14 in the morning. So it's coffee time. So you're gonna have to suffer through a little bit of some coffee drinking in today's video. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch it. I appreciate you. And I'm going to give you an update on what's going on in our 10th season, my 10th season of Lord of the Rings Rise to War. We're playing the War of the Ring campaign. It is now officially day 13 of the season. So we're almost 2 weeks since this whole thing got started. And I try to choose very carefully when to record my videos because I know that some people on my server, on the opposing team, has subscribed to my channel and watches my videos. So I got to be very careful not to give any information away that could potentially be harmful to our campaign. But at the same time, uh, I do love to share, and it's a community. The game is really ultimately about fellowship and community. No, don't you agree? So I'm happy that they subscribe to the channel and watch. I appreciate that very much. I'm not a person who makes money from YouTube. Maybe someday, who knows? That would be really cool, but probably not. I just enjoy sharing knowledge a lot. So um, we're going to get into it here. And the reason why I've chosen this point in time to share what's going on in my season is because, oh, I'm so close. Um, we're kind of at a pivot point now in terms of what Frodo is doing, where he is, all that good stuff. A lot of the stuff that you see on the map really strategically isn't going to provide our opponents with very much value for very long because we're about to pivot and head into the second half of the season. Well, not the second half of the season, I should say, because the season's only 2 weeks old, and that would imply that the season's only going to last 4 weeks, which is absolutely false. The season is going to last probably 8 weeks. So we got a ways to go yet. But Frodo is probably about halfway. We're about halfway through all the junk that he goes through. Right now, he's chilling. He is resting in some tunnel over here, and the Balrog is dead. We had a big Balrog event last night, and it was bonkers what happened in this event and leading and the events that led up to this event. So let me talk you through it real quick. Season started out, and I started out here near Lothlorien, near Karas, and it was really tight. The farming here was rough because I spawned like around 20 other bases. It was not optimal. um, there was some butting of heads. Some words were exchanged. I apologized to some people because I got angry over petty stuff, which I try not to do, but it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm a very grumpy bear when I wake up. And I was especially grumpy because I woke up 2 hours late. This is the first season in 10 seasons I didn't wake up right when the server started. And that made me mad. And then people were taking tiles that were adjacent to my base, which shouldn't be a big deal, but we're all human beings and we have feelings, and sometimes we manage them appropriately and sometimes we don't. But I think the important thing is that, we can work through the issues and apologize and be mature about certain things because it is just a game. So I spawned over here. As you can see, I got a bunch of farm. And then we moved a bunch of places. Taking troll shaws is pretty key early. Troll shaws and Rudar because Frodo starts at the Shire and travels east through this area. So it's important for good to control this strip so that he can move unobstructed or not be slowed so much by evil. And as you can see, evil has worked very hard um, to slow Frodo and to get farm. And I'm going to provide a couple of points of view from an evil perspective because I played this campaign as evil, but I don't want to give too much away. So I'm going to reserve those comments and that feedback until like an end of season recap because I don't want to give away tips to my opponents. That would be dumb of me. So anyway, I've done some stuff up in here. I've got some farm around in here, and you know, we were working to ensure Frodo's security. All these forts are probably going to go away at some point because we're transitioning everything over to the east side of the map. And there's been a lot of fighting. I mean, there's only a few pins left here now, but there was a lot of pins in this area for a while. There was even a pin down here near Tar Lar. So um, it's been really, really competitive, and I really appreciate that. That this is really what you want in any campaign: is you want good competition, a fairly balanced server. I think this server is balanced. There's like 800 good side players and 600 evil players, and that seems lopsided, except for that evil has commanders like Sunid, who can just completely tear apart like 14 armies by herself, and they have the Armored Sauron, which is a special commander for this campaign. And I'm just checking out this pin. This is from the event yesterday, which is pretty cool. This is our first big battle. This got as high as 3.5 million, so it's already starting to come down since the action has ended over here. So I have a video on the Armored Sauron as well, so check that out whenever you have a chance. That's from when I played Evil and how I used Armored Sauron. No one is using Armored Sauron the way that I used Armored Sauron really at all, which is kind of funny. Uh, So at any rate, we got Frodo. He's in through Moria. We'll take Moria at some point. We won this event. There was a couple of other events, and they were glitched. The first event was totally glitched. Everyone was fucked on that event, to be honest. We would send commanders to like an attacking world boss or a defending world boss, and they would just get stuck there, and they wouldn't do anything. And then there was a server maintenance, and over the server maintenance, they fixed it for us, for the good side. But for the evil side, I did hear that there was a number of folks that experienced an issue where they would send their commanders, and it's supposed to be 100% dead converted to wounded, and evil were having entire marches wiped out, dead, and weren't getting any of those troops back. So that caused a lot of issues on the evil side, and that sucks. And I'm sorry that they had to go through that. Kind of taints the season overall a little bit. I like wins to be clean and for systemic issues not to be a driver or a catalyst, or a cause for things to go our way. So that was definitely something that was helpful for us because we were able to get a bunch of XP from those events that they weren't able to get because they didn't want to waste troops on something like that. So it was an easy; those events were easy wins for us, getting Frodo basically to Rivendell here. And then he came down to Moria, and it took him a couple days to do that, and there was a lot of fighting up in here. And then he came in through the tunnels. Let's go to let's walk you through kind of what happened here. Ooh, I got some. So I made an unfortunate error. I thought that when Frodo reached Moria, Moria opened. So I had a bunch of people sitting by Moria waiting to attack it right when he reached there, so that we could get that all out of the way. But that turned out to not be the case. What did turn out to be the case was these event fortresses opened up, so then people could then start sending an army to them. 10-minute march from anywhere around the map, or less if you're closer. And the same thing happened for evil. I'm going to try to scroll my way up here. My BlueStacks is a little laggy while I'm recording this, as you can see. This is where the Balrog and everything was going to spawn up in here. All of the event tiles are now gone. We had basically staked out the entire area around the evil event fortresses, which were up in here. And we were completely unprepared. Ooh, I should just get rid of this tile. That's a waste. I don't need it. We were completely unprepared. There was only a handful of armies here, so Evil was able to get here and clean us out really fast. Now, a big difference between this season and the last one that I played a few months ago as Evil was that when this opened up, this tunnel was locked. We couldn't go through there. So Good could just, kill our armies, secure the area, and it was harder for us to get down into the Balrog area. Whereas in this campaign, Evil was able to clear us out, take this tunnel, go along the other side, secure this area, go through this tunnel. They went all the way. They went to Glad. They went through Gladden Fields, and they were all the way like over here. They had taken, I think it was this. They had gone all the way to this set of ruins. They made it really far. There was actually some people that were like concerned that they might try to like go all the way to Karis, which I thought was kind of a little bit paranoid and funny. Um, but when the other side has momentum and you're unable to kind of contain them, those fears are real, and I'm sure it goes both ways. So we were finally able to push them back, repel them, push them all the way back to the tunnels. Frodo reaches next target, and the Balrog didn't open up quite yet. And then I think it was like maybe 6 hours or something, 3 hours, where we were just kind of playing tug of war with these tunnels. And we just were sending timed marches over here like every 15, 20, 30 minutes, something like that. Because we had some long reinforcement times. I'm sure Evil had some long reinforcement times. And there was a lot of fighting right here. But eventually, Frodo reached the target. The Balrog opened up, and the focus shifted from over here down to the other part over here. Now, when this event started, and this is shame on me for not remembering this from the other season. I didn't pay enough attention to this, so that's why I'm really thoroughly kind of documenting and walking through this event so that the next time we play a War of the Ring campaign, I can remember this a little bit better. So once the Balrog spawned, this was neutral. The Balrog spawned right here. And this was the only free square behind the Balrog. And basically, Evil and Good were given like 4 or 5 free tiles. Leading, like, the Evil had these, and Good had like a bunch of them leading over here. So you could just send over here, and the tunnels were still neutral. Oh, hey, Frodo, he's right there. What's going on, buddy? Um, so I had focused on taking the tunnels because I know I'm slow as balls. I don't have eagles or nothing. And I know that there was I looked up here and I seen a whole bunch of people marching up here. I'm like, how are you marching up here without us taking the tunnels? And it was because each side was just given free, like, purple tiles. I think it was like one of the NPCs, like whatever their names are. They had just given us free tiles, and that was the name of the tile holder was an NPC name. So that was cool. We got up in here. We got really lucky. Evil didn't know this event, so um, they could have just pushed us out of here. But instead, they decided to focus on the Balrog, and then we pushed them out of there, and we killed all 3 of the Balrogs and won the event. And then after that happened, we just pinched from both sides of the tunnel and kicked them out of this area entirely. So this area is now completely secure. It has been purged of evil, as you can see. And, intelligence is oftentimes an enormous decider in any battle, whether you're playing a game or even in real life. So um, I agree with evil leadership, which is that the developers need to do a better job of describing these events so that people can prepare adequately for them. Because having even gone through this, I didn't even know what the heck was going to happen entirely. So I can't imagine what it was like for them. This is their first time going through this. So it's pretty frustrating. It would be nice if you could see, a better description of what each of these events entails, because it's not they're not really doing a good job with this. So here's where we're at. Once he reaches Karis, which is probably going to be in like a while, I assume it's going to be a couple of days because he's got a long walk. He's still in the middle of the tunnels. Then he's got to go all the way through Gladden Fields to get to Karis. He's going to hang out in Karis for a while, and then the Fellowship is going to start heading down towards the Argonath via the river here. Once he gets in the river, I think he goes a little bit quicker, kind of like in the movies, because he's in a boat. But I don't remember the exact timing on that. It could be a day, it could be less, it could be more. I have no idea, to tell you the truth. I can't remember all these things. Maybe in one of my other videos from 2 seasons ago, some of this information is gleaned, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So that's what's been going on in our season right now. We're preparing to transition from more of a west focus to more of an east focus. And overall, we've been able to kind of do all the things that I think that we need to do to create a recipe for success. We captured Wheel, we captured the Argonath, we captured Osgiliath in my previous season. At this point, Evil, we lost this event when I played as Evil as well. And we decided to, instead of putting all of our eggs in one basket for the event, we decided to just let good have it. And we went and we took Wheel and the Argonath in that time. So at this point in my last season, Wheel and Argonath were evil. And it made it a whole lot easier for us because then when the Fellowship arrived, we were in place to be able to do some stuff, and that is not the case for this evil team. They're very much infatuated with this area and trying to keep and maintain Dunlandings, which is good, except for I just think that, and maybe I should save this feedback for later, but I'll just share it now. I just think that it could have been done in a little bit less of an overt way, which wouldn't have drawn so much of a response. Um, So wherever you got to think, and this is how we think too. Wherever the the majority of our opponents are, we're gonna be there. So you can like pull people's attention away, and then still be able to send groups to accomplish objectives. And when you have this many people all working together on each side, you got to be a little bit more like what's the word I'm looking for? Cunning, like that. So we're here. We're all prepared now for Frodo to just come over here. There's I there may we may actually try at some point to take Daggalad. I'm not sure. It looks like there's already some fighting happening there. I'm not sure like what the resistance is. We definitely are going to need to secure all of this for Frodo's arrival. Everything is going to shift into this area pretty soon, though, because I mean, even people who haven't played this should know it's going to take Frodo a while to get to the Argonath, and then after the Argonath, he wanders around the Dead Marshes for a while, and then he hits the Black Gate. So while he's in the Dead Marshes and the Black Gate, there'll probably be some sort of an event going on. Maybe it even happens before that. Um, and then there'll be an event after he reaches the Black Gate. So we got to prepare for that. And I think we're just overall in a very good strategic position. Evil has taken a lot of regions. They probably don't have any RSS or conscription buff at all because they've taken so many regions. The number of regions between good and evil, I haven't counted them, but they're probably fairly even. So that is interesting. It's very different. The number of evil players and the quality of evil players on this server is very different from my previous server, and the number of good players and the quality and the coordination of good players on the server is very different from the last War of the Ring server I played on. So, thus, it's a very, very different looking map at this point of the season compared to the last one that I played back in January and February, and here we are, it's July. Really enjoying the campaign though. I mean, it's very unusual to have so much prestige this early in the season. And I got to get used to using this new terminology. It's not called prestige anymore. It's called merit. Merit. I don't know what happened to prestige, or I guess they're using prestige as some sort of other currency now. Um, but yeah, I mean, to have 350,000 merit less than 2 weeks into the season for me is, I think, a personal high. And it's been a lot of fun. I still got a lot of work to do. As you can see, I don't even have things like my military academy. Oh, I'm getting so close. I'm gonna boost this up to 9 today, and then I only have to do one more there. But by and large, I've focused my buildings pretty well. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with my buildings. I'm not going to share my units. Oh, I guess I can. My barracks, my units really at this point are inconsequential because there's nothing enormous happening at the moment. We're kind of in a down period. My barracks are for the most part recovered after yesterday. About 2/3 of the way there, and I need some more. Give me some more. Give me some more. Oh, I don't want to do this right now because I'm about to have the iron that I need for my military training academy. But basically, I'm just using elves and men. And I just got some dwarves. So I'm working on getting um, my commanders in shape. My roster's rounding out really nicely at this point. Um, I got Gimli at 39. I think he's going to be viable for PvP in another 5 levels at 44, or at least once I get this a little bit more so leveled up so that his normal attacks have a little bit more bite to them. But all in all, he's almost ready to go, which is good because I need a strong DD com because everyone basically expects to see these two guys when they see me in battle. My 1-2 punch, Sealdor, and Elrond. And nothing is surprising about this for my opposition. They know I use these guys. I was using Gil-galad earlier. I had put the White Knife and the Hunter's Guy with Aegis on Gil-galad early in the season for farming purposes and to do some PvP early before. It worked out pretty good for like the first week, and then I started getting smashed. So I converted my Gil-galad back over to his, like, I guess I call it like B mode. I'll still use him to farm here and there, but I'm not using him really for PvP at all. I'm sticking with my formula here of my nuke, Elrond. This guy puts out a lot of damage. And it was really funny. Let me see if I can find the report for you. Um, oh man, it's going to be a while ago. Where is it? Provoked Balrog. Look at this damage. And I could have done more. 1,000,000 damage. Let me come out of here. So I changed things up. I gave him a little bit of burn resistance instead of going with full boon. I could have maxed boon, and that would have probably given him even more damage. But I wanted to specifically mitigate some damage so that I didn't lose as many troops. And also, I could have used, instead of going with the archer build, I could have probably, since it's just one enemy, I should have probably used keepers with him, and he would have done probably a whole bunch more damage. But just these numbers are a little mind-boggling, to me at least. I'm pretty happy with it. It was pretty funny because, you know, he's nowhere near maxed out. There's still a lot of work to be done. He's just total nuke bomb. But yeah, I mean, these two guys have been doing a lot of work for me. Isildur has been really great. I'm really enjoying this build quite a bit. The Dunedain build here, using the maxed out R3 title. You have the Last Alliance, which is only in effect when you have both men and elves in the army, and you basically get a whole bunch of damage mitigation. And then also Great King is really good. It buffs damage dealt over the first 2 rounds, and in round one the enemy does minimum damage, so it mitigates so much of the enemy's damage in round one. They basically don't touch you in round one, they don't hurt you very hard at all. And then I have tactical maneuvers stacked on top of that, another 12% reduction on top of that. Ton of defense, ton of defense, and then also the Rangers and the Dunedain have extra 6 HP. The attack for elves and men from his unique, it's phenomenal. The stats on this are nice, but I'm wearing this helmet for the Aegis, and soon I'll have a 4th star if I can just get one more of these suckers. I swear to God. And then Pursuit on the Fireworks. So this has been a really really strong, kind of tanky, beefy, smack you kind of commander. Um, my colleagues have been, I think, more successful with him than I have been, but I've been usually using him to kind of lead the way and bash down, kind of create. I like to be the first one in and sacrifice my troops to make it easier for my colleagues. And I think everyone has that kind of a player on their team. I know Evil has a guy that has a really, really beast Kerwan. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm going to call him Kermit. This guy is a super crackety player, and he oftentimes is leading the charge on MORG's team, and rightfully so. He is a very strong, intelligent player, and he's got very, very good commanders. So I might not be as strong as him, but I'll lead the way and kind of open the door up so that then the rest of my team can blast their way in and make it a little bit easier for them to get through. I'll sacrifice my troops for that. I'm happy to do that, and I might not get the sexiest prestige, merit, whatever from having that approach, but I still do get merit, and I think it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun campaign so far, and I hope everyone else is enjoying it. I know there's a lot of frustration on the opposition side, but I hope that they're hanging in there because it is a long season, and Evil does tend to get stronger as the season goes on. They're probably just starting to hit. Actually, I'll show you the ring levels here, ranking. Ring levels. Yeah, you can see they've already got some guys now with ring level 100, which means their Armored Sauron has its R5. 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 players now on the evil side with R5 Armored Sauron. That is going to be fun to deal with later, I suppose, depending on how they gear him. It's interesting. I'm really actually surprised no one has even attempted to gear him the way that I geared him. If you watch my Armored Sauron video, I walked through how I gear him, and I think that it was a pretty effective and smart way to do it, but no one's doing it that way, and that's been delightful because most of the reports that I've seen um, of my colleagues or myself hitting Armored Saurons have been overwhelmingly positive. I'll show you a couple of reports here to show what I mean in a second. So you can see. Is there something here? No. Yeah, I'll show you right here. I mean, just look at this. I mean, this is only level. Like, what is this? What are you guys doing? Why? Nothing? What? Oh man, this one's a little better. All right, you got Aegis on them, but it has no refinement. You got tactical maneuvers, but it's only 2 stars. So I guess it's a pretty decent formula. They love putting this cutlass on him. I don't. I guess that's a good way to go. I mean, it's not the cutlass isn't. It's definitely a smart way to use him. Um, but just overall, like what are you guys doing? I guess maybe they're gonna switch and prioritize gear a little bit better on him once he gets his R5. I don't know. It's very very different. Here's this Grima. That's pretty nasty Grima here. But this is an example of what I'm talking about, where I just basically use my Isildur as a bludgeon club to kind of pave the way for my colleagues to come through. I often get something like this happen, where I smack into a Khaldun or Kyrune, and my Isildur is not meant to deal with Khaldun really at all. This is a pretty good one too. Splits on the Signet, Hysteria, Melee Vigor, Rend. Um, Not sure if I agree with this skilling, but okay. I mean, Quicksand, you don't have a single point in your stun. Thanks for doing that for me. That helped me out a lot. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I still lost more troops than him, even though I did more damage. Then the reason why this one did as well as it did is because um, my archers do as much work. So this is a really nasty build because it's pretty balanced in terms of if I run into a Sunid, I'm going to slaughter Sunid because I have a lot of anti-ranged between the Dunedain and the Rangers. But it also holds up moderately well versus all melee builds because I have 2100 really, really strong archers in the back. You know, they're putting up, they do some serious damage. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find another one. There's a tunnel. Here's one where I got completely massacred. This Undying just completely destroyed me. I don't see too many reports this lopsided with my Isildur. Of course, it was while I was eating dinner too, so I wasn't even paying attention. Oh yeah, and this is one where I was doing all melee Isildur because I had ran out of Sentinels, so I replaced my Sentinels with Keepers. And there's going to be some situations where the Keepers are going to do a whole bunch of work and be really good for me, but in this situation, I just got completely blown up. So kudos to Undying and your undies. And there's that Balrog attack. Here's a Khaldun that I did well against, but I don't. I guess it was a Pather Khaldun because no one in their right mind would use this as an attacking army. You can see this is where I'm doing work in the tunnel. Here's a Sunid, just completely destroyed. I mean, I take some pretty significant losses, but this Sunid is not. It's not a great Sunid, but it's not a bad Sunid either. It's doing all the things a Sunid's supposed to do. And then there's another Sauron. This Sauron looks a little bit better, but I still really didn't take any losses at all. How is he skilled? Yeah, okay. Nothing in the bottom R0 tree. So that helped, I guess, helped me a little bit. And then I smacked into this Khaldun. Splat! This Khaldun is really strong, though. This guy's a really strong player. He's one of their Krakens. I would call him a Kraken, or at least a very, very large whale. And let's check out this tunnel here. We got a Witch King. It was not full. But then this Sunid just got completely blown up. Not the greatest, but not also the worst gear. I got levels on her. But you can see even against, ranged, my archers are doing some work. So I really like this build a lot on the Isildur. I think it's really strong. And then here's Splat, another Khaldun. I find those Khalduns better than anyone, and Kyrunes too. And I splat against them. Not sure if I agree with this scaling entirely, but I guess it makes sense since he's got the Frenzy Hammer. You want the collaboration, but he doesn't do like a super amount of commander damage. So I don't know. I don't know, man. And then we have some more fun stuff here. Ooh, I found a Khaldun. It's not full, but I blew him up. Nonetheless, with the Elrond, my nuke, big level disparity, but like I said, he's not full, so not really a fair fight. And then this one's also just a Pather. And then it's splat into the Kyrune. Let's check out this Kyrune. Bane of Mounted Units. That's one of my favorite purple weapons. Shroud. Not going to do anything versus my Elrond because I have Pursuit. But in general, not a bad concept. I would have done Melee Vigor on this. That would have been better, in my opinion. So the reason is for Shroud, it's a 50% chance to evade the first instance of damage. So you get to use it once if it works at all, and you got a 50% chance. I don't love abilities like that. I don't. Let me see it maxed. Yeah, 60% chance maxed. It's just not good. Like, why would you want this instead of melee vigor, which is going to reduce your damage on your melee units by 6%, all 10 rounds of the battle, the whole battle is 6%. It's guaranteed, and you're using all melee. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. That's up to you, though. That's fine. I mean, everyone has pursuit at this point in the game, and he didn't do bad. He lost, but considering I had 100,000 versus 280,000, and I outdamaged him, I'm actually pretty, and the level disparity here against a full army, I'm actually really happy with this report. It's pretty good. I'm all right with this. It's not Ace's Kyrune, so man, that dude's Kyrune is beast. If I come across that, I'll show it to you. Let's go back to this report. So smack the gore bag here. Not a bad gore bag. 4 out of 5 stars on the unique. He's got the bone armor with orcs, damage received, fortitude orcs, resolve of orcs, and extra. I assume this is sustain, of course. I don't know if using old orc is the way to go on him, though. This is more of a PvE build than a PvP build, so thanks for using that. Maybe that he was pathing with him or something. But then I hit this Witch King here. And let's take a look at this Witch King. It got Tactical Mark. That's solid. Stun immunity. He's got the melee vigor, but it's not refined. And then, of course, melee might. Yep, that's the build. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why put the third point in here instead of a third point in there. Oh, I guess it's because you're using evil men more than Urukai, so that makes sense. This is only going to really affect your alchemists. And I splat on the Sunid because I just didn't have enough troops left. Let's check out this Sunid here. Yeah, it's pretty. It's a purple Sunid. Didn't have enough troops left to get it done. Not bad though. So anyway, that's my update on the season. I apologize for this video going on quite long, so if you hung in there through the whole thing, I appreciate you taking the time. I just enjoy, this is what I do all day in between work, is I evaluate the map, I look at reports, I look at my opponents. You can see all the pins across the map. There is action everywhere. There's been action going on up here. Not the critical crossing, but it's the crossing basically between Dale and Keldwyn Vale has been a battleground for quite a while. And down here, there's been battling going on down here. So it's been a really action-packed server, and I'm enjoying it. I hope the opponents are enjoying it, despite the frustrations. I think overall, I hope you're not having a bad time. And there's still a long way to go. We got a lot of season left. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I look forward to doing another one of these in the future and walking you through some more stuff. So until then, I hope you all stay well. Take care. Cheers.